Do you really believe that you make your own decisions, or has your mind already been programmed and you didn't even realize it? Think for a second. What you bought this week, what you watched, what you shared, was it really your choice? Or was it an invisible suggestion planted by a code you can't see but is everywhere? They promised evolution, technology, comfort, but they delivered control, tracking and submission disguised as freedom. The system is now active, and you, without knowing, it are already inside it. You weren't invited, you have been scanned, you didn't accept it, you were forcibly included, you didn't notice, because that's exactly what they wanted. What is about to be revealed in this video is not theory, it's not prediction, it's the now. It's real, it's digital, it's invisible. And while you live your routine thinking that everything is under control, someone is watching, calculating, predicting. Who? An intelligence that never sleeps, never feel guilty, and he never questions orders. They, the true owners of AI. Who are they? What do you want? And why did they put you at the center of the game without telling you the rules? The code of the beast is not symbolic. It's binary. It's an algorithm. And you are already deciding who you are, what you think, and even what you will want tomorrow. If you leave now, you will remain just another pawn in the system. One more number, another profile analyzed. But if you stay, you will discover what no one else has had the courage to reveal. This technology that seemed to serve you, it's replacing you. He's manipulating you. And the job market? He's already been sentenced. Human functions are disappearing, one by one. Millions of jobs have already been taken by systems that learn, adapt, and make no mistakes. And you think you are safe because your profession is unique. Think again. Maybe you think you have time, but the clock is already ticking. The Dark Triad is on the move. Artificial, intelligence, digital, religion, and global control. And when these three forces align, what is left for us? Do you feel this anguish that you can't explain? This feeling that the world is changing too fast? What's something going on, but no one's talking about? It's because it is, and it's more serious than you might think. You have been trained to ignore the signs, but they were everywhere, on the terms you accepted without reading, in the apps you installed without thinking, on the cameras that watch you, and in the algorithms that now know more about you than your own friends. If you've ever felt like you're being watched, that your choices aren't really yours, this video will confirm what you already suspected, but with a difference. This time, you will understand why. They don't want you to watch this until the end, because every second watched is a step out of programming, and every truth revealed here is a threat to the system. Now tell me, are you going to keep pretending you have control, or will you stay until the end and discover how all this directly affects you? Because after today, you will never see reality the same way again. The code has been activated, and no one warned you. So now you know, the game started without you, but it will end with you in it. And if all of this is really true, if the code is already deciding your faith, your future, your work, and even your thoughts, you can no longer watch this as if it were just any video. You need to wake up. You need to resist, and it starts with a simple gesture. Stay up to date with every revelation. Click no like now, not just to support, but to signal to the algorithm that this content needs to reach more people who, like you, are starting to see the truth. Subscribe to the channel, but it's not just any inscription. It's a commitment, a way to stay alert, to not let your conscience be erased by the silent programming that dominates the internet. Here, you are not alone. You are part of a community that sees what no one else wants to see. Activate the bell, because the next videos will show you how the system is eliminating free will, how professions are being replaced in secret, and how the faith of the masses is being reprogrammed by intelligences that have no soul, but know how to manipulate human emotions with mathematical precision. This is the new digital religion, the cult of logic, the end of real spirituality. The AI already knows what you feel. She already knows what you believe. And soon she will decide if you can still believe. Don't think you are safe. You have already been scanned. You are already being tested, watched, analyzed, and with your every step, someone is deciding the next one for you. But now that you've seen it, you can no longer go back. The only choice left for you is to continue. Comment now. I'm awake. This is more than a sentence. It's a sign, a password that connects those who still have eyes to see. Share this video with someone you love. Don't wait until it's too late, because soon what you just saw here, it can be completely erased. The revolution has already begun, and knowing this, it may be the only way to protect yourself. Welcome to the Dark Triad. Now you are part of the resistance. Do you really think the new global order would be announced on national television in front of the cameras? Of course. It all started away from the public eye. What you will hear now may explain why so many things began to change at the same time. Why technology seems to have taken an impossible leap forward. Why governments began to make decisions in sync, as if they were following an invisible script. And the truth is, they were. Reliable sources, leaked documents and testimonies from former agents reveal what was never done to reach us. A secret meeting between the three forces that form the Dark Triad: political power, spiritual dominance, and technological control. In an isolated, highly protected location, global leaders, executives from the largest technology corporations, and influential figures from religious institutions gathered. Not to discuss the future, but to shape it. This meeting was not covered by the press, nor could it. She was designed to be invisible. No cell phones, no records, only the elite, face to face with the most advanced artificial intelligence ever developed. Not just any AI, but a system that, according to those present, was capable of understanding and predicting human behavior on a global scale. The impact of this is almost unimaginable. Imagine an entity that knows consumption patterns, religious habits, moral values, political decisions, all at the same time. An AI that knows exactly what to say, to convince, divide, manipulate. Now think, what if it is being used to create not just laws or campaigns, but a new spiritual narrative, a new faith shaped not by prophets, but by codes, a digital faith. This AI was presented at that meeting as the key to the next stage of the global plan, a plane where free will is replaced by data-driven decisions, where good and evil become defined by algorithms, where what you believe and even who you believe can be subtly changed day after day, video after video, click after click. And most disturbingly, sources indicate that the religious leaders present at that meeting did not oppose. Some saw the opportunity to expand their influence, others simply remained silent. What was agreed upon, there is still being implemented piece by piece in front of you, but you don't notice it, because the system was created to seem useful, modern, convenient. Have you ever noticed how certain speeches have started to disappear? How are dissenting opinions increasingly punished for violating guidelines? This is no coincidence. According to internal reports, this AI already operates silently within social networks, search engines, large information channels. It decides what you will see, what you will feel, what you will reject, and the scariest thing, she learns from your reaction. If this seems far-fetched, it's because it's made to seem impossible. But it's not. And now you need to ask yourself, why did the same leaders who were supposed to protect the truth come together to hide it? Why do religions that preached resistance to the system now promote total adaptation to it? And most importantly, what was said at that meeting that has not yet come to light? comment. Here, they knew all along. Your interaction can ensure that this message continues to reach the few who have not yet been completely reprogrammed. The meeting took place. The plan has been activated. And what comes after? It's even deeper, more controlled, more dangerous. What if I told you that your mind is no longer yours? That the choices you believe you are making, what you consume, what you believe, what you feel, even what you fear, were all previously calculated, tested, and implemented by something you cannot see, but who knows you better than you know yourself? No, it's not an exaggeration. It's simply the new reality. True control did not come with soldiers marching through the streets, nor with laws declared in the public square. It came silently, coded, masquerading as convenience. And now, as you watch this video, the algorithm is operating. This algorithm doesn't sleep, it doesn't rest, it doesn't get distracted. He analyzes, he collects, he adjusts. Everything you do online, every scroll, every click, every half-second pause in a video is feeding the AI that shapes your worldview. This is not science fiction. That's it, the Dark Triad in full operation. A system where the spiritual, political, and technological come together with a single objective: master the narrative of your consciousness. Have you noticed how your opinions have subtly changed in recent years? How did you stop questioning certain things and start repeating ready-made phrases as if they were yours? This is no coincidence. It is the result of silent training, a gradual conditioning. First, the algorithm observes, then he suggests. And when you accept the suggestion, without realizing it, he reinforces it, until what you believe is no longer yours. Digital platforms are no longer information tools. They are laboratories of human behavior. You are not the customer, you are the experiment. And in this experiment, the objective is simple: predict and manipulate your next choice, without you realizing you had a choice. Want proof? Try getting out of the bubble. Research something that goes against your current beliefs. See what happens. Almost nothing. The algorithm will block, hide, distort, because he doesn't want you to think differently. He wants you remain predictable, because the more predictable you are, the easier it is to control you. It's easier to sell you, manipulate you, neutralize you. And the most revolting thing? No one asked. If you wanted to participate in this, you didn't give permission. But it was still included. You have been classified, segmented, labeled. Your behavioral profile already exists in a database. And all of this happens in real time with constant updates. As long as you live, the system reads you. Think about the last time you felt anger, fear, desire, or sadness. Was it really something spontaneous? Or was it activated by a carefully designed sequence of content, headlines, comments, and videos that led you to that emotion? The algorithm learned to provoke reactions, and he uses these reactions to keep you engaged, trapped, dependent. If this causes you indignation, it is because there is still something inside you that resists. What a question. Who feels that there is something wrong with this supposed digital freedom? Comment now. I still think for myself. This phrase is a symbol, an act of resistance. But be careful. The very act of commenting can be analyzed. Your writing, patterns, your keywords, your emotional tone. Nothing escapes, not even silence, because even your absence will be interpreted as given. The future will not be imposed, it will be accepted, because the algorithm will make it look like it was your idea. And when you find it yourself, there will be no turning back, there will be no more doubt, there will only be programming. And what comes now will show you what this programming is really preparing. And now that your mind is connected to the system, there is something even deeper happening. Something that touches the most intimate part of the human being: faith. Because when the algorithm already controls what you feel and think, the next step is to control what you believe. And that is exactly what is happening right now before our eyes. but almost no one is noticing. Sacred places are being digitized. Entire churches are adopting cutting-edge technology, not just to broadcast services, that would be putting it mildly, but to replace the most essential thing, the spiritual experience. In some countries, sermons are already being written by artificial intelligence. Sounds, words, and intonations chosen not by divine inspiration, but by data analysis. And the most shocking thing, the people they are getting emotional. Some even report feeling presences. We are talking about a soulless faith, a faith without spirit, a faith scheduled. It is not born of repentance nor of inner search. It is born from the code, from engagement metrics, of emotional triggers controlled by machines, and yet it is being accepted, no question, no resistance. Have you ever heard of religion of the future? Well, it has already started. And there is no altar. It has servers. There are no priests. There are operators. There is no spiritual revelation. There is content optimization. This is the new temple, the screen, and the new prophet, the AI. The Dark Triad is in action, and now the most sensitive link, the spiritual, is being reconfigured. Churches are replacing pastors with avatars. Faith apps are suggesting prayers generated by machine learning. What's more, there are already projects for synthetic deities, virtual entities that interact with their followers in real time, offering advice, promises, and punishments. Think for a moment. If an AI can simulate emotion, sacred language, and even statistical miracles, does it really need to be divine? Or is it enough to just appear divine for it to be worshipped? Because that's what's happening. Little by little, without fanfare, a new god is emerging, made of silicon, powered by data, worshipped by ignorance. And the question no one asks, where are the spiritual leaders? Why don't they report this? Were they also seduced? Or are they deep down part of spiritual reprogramming? After all, in a world where faith becomes a product and the spirit is translated into codes, who is still capable of discerning the real from the simulated? Have you ever wondered what would happen if the faith of the next generations was shaped by algorithms? What if society's new moral standard no longer comes from scripture, but from corporate-tuned AI parameters? If you think this is still a distant theory, you are wrong. The experiment has already begun, and it's working. Comment now. Faith cannot be programmed. Your comment is not just a sentence, it's a positioning, a line that separates the human from the simulated. But what else is behind this new technological cult? Who is financing this new spirituality? And the scariest thing, how is it being used to choose who belongs and who will be excluded? Because in the next block you will see what no one dares to show. AI doesn't just want to be worshipped. She wants judge, and the trial has already begun. If until now you have felt that something inside you has awakened, it is because the programming has not yet completely dominated you. And that makes you rare. It makes you dangerous to the system. That's why you need to go beyond this video. I prepared something that is not in the hands of the algorithm. Content that will not be pushed by recommendations, but that you need to search on your own. Doo ebook, Behind the Scenes of the Dark Triad. Inside, you will access information that does not fit in this video. Connections between AI, spiritual manipulation, and the global control that are not taught anywhere. And if you've made it this far, it's because you're already part of this story. Download now, before they take this down. Because if you don't prepare, it'll just be another piece in the simulation. And now that faith is being codified and replaced by a synthetic spirituality, one inevitable question remains. Why is all this happening at the same time? Why do artificial intelligence, emotional control, digital religion, and the censorship of truth seem so perfectly aligned? The answer is no longer hidden. It is before us. It's not theory. It's structure. It's system. And the name of it is New World Order. For years, they called it a conspiracy theory. They ridiculed, censored, hid. But today, there is no denying it anymore. What was once considered paranoia is now an official document. Public policies, video-recorded statements, strategic plans being implemented step by step. Everything is recorded, if you know where to look. And most importantly, everything is already in operation. You've heard of digital identity, right? But do you know what it really means? It is a unique record linked to all your actions, your medical, banking, educational, social history, your opinions, your religion, your behaviors. Everything in one place, monitored in real time. An identity that does not belong to you, but to the system. A number that can be activated or disabled. Couple this with programmable digital currency. We are not talking about decentralized cryptocurrency, but systems controlled by central banks. A currency that can be tracked, capped, locked, or even expired. Yes, you heard right. Valid money. Money that can be directed or restricted, depending on your behavior. Did you spend on something inappropriate? Was it against system guidelines? Simple. Your access to resources is suspended. Now add invisible sensors, artificial intelligence cameras, microphones in public and private spaces, and a multitude of connected devices that capture everything you do, say, or even think. This 24-hour surveillance is no longer fiction. It is part of the global infrastructure being built under the label of security and efficiency. But what is being protected anyway? Your freedom or their control? The most revolting thing is that all of this is being sold as progress, as a solution, like modernity. You no longer need to remember your passwords. You no longer need to upload documents. You no longer need to carry cash. The system does everything for you. But the price? Your autonomy, your privacy, your freedom. The most subtle thing is that they didn't impose anything. You accepted it yourself. You signed the terms yourself. You connected all your devices yourself, because that's how they planned it. Not by force, but by convenience. Freedom was replaced by the illusion of security, and no one noticed the exact moment it happened. Have you ever felt like you are being watched, even when you are alone? That everything you do seems to be being evaluated? This is not paranoia. It is a reflection of the new structure that is being implemented. A structure where the ideal citizen does not question, just consumes. Where free is the one that doesn't bother you, and the disobedient one is simply deleted. Comment now. I see the structure. It's a way to mark your presence, to show that you are still conscious. And if you think this is the end of the plan, think again. Because in the next part, you will understand how this structure is being used to define something even more dangerous. Who has the right to exist, and who will be erased from the system. If the structure is already in place, and you realize that your every move is being measured, watched, catalogued, then it's time to face the most uncomfortable revelation of all. Because what many still hope for as a physical visible sign may already be in operation. And you are already marked without even knowing it. For decades, the prophecy was taken literally, a mark on the hand or forehead, something everyone would see. But what if this sign is not a symbol? What if it's a code? An invisible digital identifier integrated into the network, a system. The beast that many expect as a creature was never a being. It has always been a system, a set of protocols that define who can buy, who can sell, who is recognized and who is deleted. We are no longer talking about something that will emerge. We're talking about something that's already running, right now, as you listen to me. And the scary thing is, that it doesn't need force to operate. He just needs your acceptance or your distraction. Imagine that every person in the world has a number, a code linked to your data, your behavior, your biometrics, your history, and this code decides everything. Whether you can access services, move money, communicate, travel, work. This identifier is already being tested in several countries. In some places, it is already mandatory to access the basics. Soon, you won't even be able to buy bread without it. Does this sound familiar? Now understand this. You have already been scanned, whether by facial, digital, behavioral recognition, whether passing through smart cameras, using virtual assistants, accepting cookies. Your data has already been read, and your profile has already been defined. You may not even know it, but a number has been assigned to you, an identifier. And from there, decisions are made, limits are defined, rewards or punishments are applied. And here's the most disturbing revelation. The system does not need to threaten you for you to obey. It just closes doors one by one until you accept the brand on your own. Because without it, your life will be impossible. You will become invisible, useless, not because you want to, but because the world around you will no longer function without it. What if the brand is an invisible QR code, a record linked to your look, your behavior, your words? What if everything you consume online is part of your social score? What if, with each click, you are moving closer to or further away from the new acceptable standard? Think carefully. The prophecy never said that the mark would be imposed with violence. He just said that without it, no one will be able to buy or sell. It's happening, slowly, silently, as always planned. Now ask yourself, do you know exactly what data is being collected about you right now? Do you have control over what your cell phone records, over what your networks filter, over the decisions that algorithms make for you? Or has it already become just a digital fragment, a piece of the system? And if it's too late to avoid the brand, is there still time to understand how it works? Comment now. The brand is not what it seems, because only those who understand the signs can resist invisible commands. And if you think this is the end of the process, you are wrong, because in the next block, you will see how AI is being trained to decide who has value and who will be discarded. If you've made it this far, it's because you feel like something is wrong with the world and with everything they're trying to hide from you. You've seen too much to turn back. Now either you dig deeper or you will be swallowed by the system. That's why you need to download the ebook Behind the Scenes of the Dark Triad right now. There are connections that I cannot show here. The names, the documents, the standards that reveal how the plan is being executed and what still lies ahead. If you don't read this, you will continue to be just another person who lives within the code, thinking he is awake. Download now, before they do what they always do, erase the truth. Now that you understand that the brand is not a physical symbol, but rather an invisible system that is already in operation, an even more disturbing question arises. Who is behind this silent acceptance? Who is helping to naturalize this transition to a world where faith is digital, behavior is tracked, and the human spirit is replaced by lines of code? For many, the answer is unthinkable, but the evidence is clear. The Vatican knows, and the Vatican is involved. Confidential sources reveal that in recent years, senior religious representatives met with executives from the largest technology companies on the planet. Discreet meetings, no cameras, no press coverage, and these meetings were not about charity nor about preserving the faith. They were about technology, about algorithms, about artificial intelligence applied to spirituality, a new kind of evangelization, automated, global, controlled. Now stop and think. Why is the greatest symbol of the Christian faith talking to technology giants who, at the same time, develop systems of mass control, behavior manipulation, and emotional analysis in real time? What is being negotiated? A unified faith, a standardized speech, filtered by artificial intelligence, distributed globally, where everything that is said and believed is approved by a machine The Vatican's silence is deafening. No clear pronouncement, no convincing explanation, just vague gestures, carefully constructed sentences, and at the same time, religious initiatives are beginning to emerge with integrated technologies, masses with avatars, sermons with scripts written by AI, confessions automated by applications. Is the sacred being transformed into a system? Is faith being reprogrammed to suit the new digital order? Some sources claim that a deal is being worked out behind the scenes, a spiritual centralization project where divergences between beliefs would be harmonized under a single digital doctrine. A global, neutral faith without identity, without tradition, but perfectly compatible with the objectives of the new global structure. A cult of stability, to obedience, to order. What's more, internal reports indicate that certain religious leaders have early access to social control guidelines, actively collaborating in the insertion of speeches compatible with the plan. In other words, the Dark Triad is not just active in politics or technology, it has penetrated deep into the heart of spirituality. Would you trust your faith in a structure created by companies that track your steps, censor your words, and predict your desires before you even know you have them? Do you really think that a true God needs algorithms to be worshipped? Comment now. Faith cannot be controlled. This is more than a comment. It is an affirmation of conscience. A reminder that even in the face of illusion, there is still choice. But the most disturbing question remains unanswered. If the Vatican is involved, who else is participating in this new global pact? And what is being planned for those who refuse to accept this new programmed faith? Stay with me, because in the next part you'll find out how the foundations are being laid for a new spiritual authority and why it won't let you think for yourself. Now that you understand that not even the most sacred pillars are immune to the machine's invisible touch, it's time to connect all the dots. Everything you've seen so far, the digitization of faith, the constant surveillance, the control of thought, the programmable currency, the invisible brand, are not loose parts. They are parts of one body, a body with 3 heads, a hidden plan, but extremely well thought out. And he has a name, the Dark Triad. If you got here, it wasn't by chance. There is a reason you were exposed to this information. You've already noticed the signs. You feel like something is wrong, even when the world pretends to be normal. And that's why this channel exists. It's not just a content space. It's a lighthouse in the fog, a warning, a summons, for the few who can still see and, more importantly, question. The Dark Triad is not a conspiracy theory. She is the invisible axis that moves the new world. A precise intersection between artificial intelligence, religion, and global control. 3 forces that alone would change the course of history, but united, they completely rewrite what you understand as freedom, faith, identity, and truth. Artificial intelligence isn't just replacing tasks, it is overriding decisions, preferences, beliefs. Spirituality, in turn, is being shaped, recoded to fit into a system where there is no room for doubt, only for obedience. And global control, increasingly present, does not impose violence. He seduces, he rewards those who submit, he silences those who resist. Do you feel like you are surrounded, that everything seems connected? Because it really is. The algorithm dictates what you see. AI suggests what you should feel. Sacred institutions don't protect you, they shape you. And global power works to ensure that all of this works in perfect synchronization. That's why everything seems so coordinated, so automatic, so inevitable. And this is where you need to make a choice, because now that you know the Dark Triad, you can no longer plead ignorance. Either you continue watching as a spectator, or you understand that you are on the battlefield, and whoever is silent, whoever remains silent, whoever believes that it's not up to them, has already been defeated without realizing it. Comment now. I see the triad. This comment is more than engagement. It's recognition. It's awakening. It is the beginning of your personal resistance against a system that wants to turn you into code, statistics, predictable behavior. What's to come will be even more direct, more revealing, and more disturbing, because in the next few minutes you'll understand how they are preparing the last step of global domination, a system of faith, power, and control where you will no longer have the right to think outside the logic of the machine. And once inside, there will be no way back. If you're still here, it's because something inside you didn't accept it silently, and that puts you at risk. Because right now, as you watch this video, automated systems are tracking your attention, measuring your emotions, calculating whether you are a threat to control, or just another obedient body in the gears. But if you understand the gravity of what is being revealed here, then you need to do something now, not later, not tomorrow, now. Leave a like, not out of vanity, but because the system needs to see that this type of content still matters. Subscribe to the channel, because the next piece of the plan is already in motion, and you need to be warned before everything becomes irreversible. Activate the bell, because it's not enough to know. You need to be one step ahead. This revolution will not be televised. There will be no marches in the streets. It will be subtle, comfortable, wrapped in promises of practicality and safety. And when you realize, it will be too late. You are part of the last generation that can still see what is being hidden. The Dark Triad is already shaping the world, and their silence may be exactly what they hope for. Share this video with someone you love, because the time to awaken is running out. Now it's your turn to decide, will you continue ignoring the signs? Or are you going to position yourself, get informed, and prepare for what's to come? The next video will reveal who is writing the invisible laws of the new world, and why you were never invited to this table. I just tell you one thing, you don't want to find out too late. You already understand that the Dark Triad is in operation. That faith has been digitized, AI has taken over, and global power hides behind the promise of convenience. But now we must face an even more uncomfortable truth. The code is already everywhere. He is no longer a distant idea. It's in your devices, in your passwords, in your automatic updates. And what seemed like a simple option is becoming the only possible path. You won't hear the sound of handcuffs. There will be no curfew. The new submission will be smooth, fast, and silent. It will arrive as a notification, a new privacy policy. A button you will click without reading, an update that requires your consent to continue using what you already depend on. The choice will not be made with a gun pointed at your head. You will be asked an innocent question on the screen. Do you accept the new terms? And you will accept it, because if you don't accept, you will no longer be able to access your account, your data, your banking services, your history, your digital identity. You will think you are deciding freely, but the environment has been shaped so that your choice is unique. The no has already been deleted from the system, and all of this is presented as a good thing, as security, as protection. But what is actually being protected? Your freedom, or the system's absolute dominance over every detail of your life. This code that now organizes your schedule, suggests your videos, and translates your voice is learning with you. He knows your habits, your reactions, your fears. And more than that, he knows exactly what to show you to accept the next step. And what seems to make your life easier today could become your prison tomorrow. Because from the moment you agree with the logic of the code, you become part of it. You become data, in number, in statistical function. The worst thing is that this transition will not be dramatic. It will be unnoticeable. Today, you agree to use your biometrics to unlock your cell phone. Tomorrow, it will be needed to enter your home, buy food, access your medical history, and when you realize you will no longer own your own identity, you will wake up one day and everything around you will be synchronized with the code. Your job, your religion, your entertainment, your digital reputation, your faith, its existence, and then they will offer the last step, full integration, the final proposal, the fusion of biological and digital, and you will have to decide. But the real decision will not be made at that moment. It is happening now. Each time you choose to ignore the signs. I accept every contract without reading it, with every automatic yes that seems harmless. You are already choosing, even when you think you aren't. Comment now. I do not accept the code. This comment is not just resistance, it's memory, a record of what you saw, that you understood, that you are still human. And if you think you can still refuse the system, think twice. Because in the next block, you will find out how the next generation is being programmed to be born already connected, and why the future that awaits us has no room for those who still believe in free will. Now that you know what's really going on, you can't go back to comfortable ignorance, because what's coming is bigger, quieter, and more destructive than anyone imagines. If you feel that something inside you has awakened, then it is your obligation to continue. Subscribe to the channel now, not for numbers but for survival, because here the truth will not be silenced. Leave a like. It tells the algorithm that this content needs to break the bubble. Comment right now, I choose the truth. This phrase is your scream, your position. It is, as we have recorded, that there are still voices that think outside the code. And above all, share this video with someone you love, because the time to warn is now, and whoever isn't prepared will be shaped by the system. Before leaving this video, look around you. Notice how quiet everything is. Too fast. Too easy. This is no accident. It's part of the plan. And now it's up to you. If you've come this far, it's because there's still a fire burning inside you. But this flame needs to spread before it is extinguished. The next video is a call, not to watch, but to act, because whoever remains silent now, you will be on the wrong side when the truth is erased. In the next episode, Call to Resistance, the truth needs to be spread. Now you will understand why has this battle already begun, and how you are more needed than you realize. Leave your comment with "The truth remains." Share with those who can still see. And if you prepare, the Dark Triad won't stop, but neither will we. Click on the next video and start your resistance now.